Yeah, sure.
I'm not getting, and the most important thing is you let the law be introduced. Even the law is not introduced. Fifth question. And you resign and then you say that I was made to resign. Arti, do you think Arvind Kejriwal has really tied himself up in knots on this one?
Who voted against the introduction?
It was not.
I don't think so, Arnab. I think he's taken a calculated gamble. And he's thought this thing through very, carefully. He made it known over a week ago in a interview that he did at the Delhi Lit Festival. Absolutely. He made it very clear that this is what he was planning to do.
Okay.
It was up to everybody to read the writing on the wall. So I think he's thought it through. He's taken a gamble. Now when the elections come, it will be proved whether he was right or wrong.
But then 1 second. But then if that is the case, Arti, then to go and say that I have been cheated, I have not been allowed, I was not allowed to do this and that. I mean, what you're suggesting is that this was fairly choreographed by the Aam Aadmi Party and Arvind Kejriwal a week back. That
yes, absolutely. He's playing victim politics. He's playing victim politics, Arnab. He is the David to the Goliath of the BJP and the Congress.
But this is so easy to see through.
He's the Aam Aadmi, they are the behemoths of Indian politics. He's playing victim politics.
No, but this is so easy to see through, isn't it, Arti? I mean,
and Mukesh Ambani and the central government and so on. Yeah. I mean, this is political theatre of the highest order.
No, but then on all...
Congress is rattled.
No, but then what about
allowed them today to go on this route?
No, but what about
now he'll be full-fledged stop Modi campaign. Suits the Congress.
No, so it is good for Arvind Kejriwal politically.
But Nirmala, he seems to have identified Narendra Modi as his main enemy. The slogans today at the Aam Aadmi Party headquarters were "Pehle Sheela thi, ab Modi ki bari."
That they cannot fight them, so use as a prop.
Modi ki bari. So he's now taking on the BJP. The Congress he feels is over. It's history. It's yesterday's story. He's now putting himself against Narendra Modi and the BJP.
No. But wasn't the whole argument?
The BJP are the powerful party. The Congress
Arvind Kejriwal, because they can't fight them. Let them go around fighting if it's possible to stop Modi. It's also part of the strategy.
No, but this is, this will then, there will be others who will argue here that this was part of the Congress Aam Aadmi Party strategy. Anyway, I don't even want to get into that. Vinod Mehta, what about the promises and the delivery? The general expectation, and that's why there was so much excitement at one time, which seems a long time back, Vinod Mehta, about the Aam Aadmi Party, is here is a party which is made up of a group potentially of bright people, relatively younger, who can provide a governance alternative to the Congress and the BJP. A governance alternative, not an alternative in terms of political theatre. We already have enough of it, Mr. Mehta.
Arnab.
Yes.
This is a very sad day for me. And this is almost as if it's the end of a dream, because if you remember, I was amongst the first and most passionate supporters of the Aam Aadmi Party.
Yes, I remember that.
But this looks like the French Revolution. This is like a movement that has devoured itself. And the more the inconsistencies I see in the party, in this great hurry to do everything in 24 hours, I can understand you say that compromise is a dirty word. You can say we came into power to fight corruption. And therefore, if you don't accept my bill, I will go to court, I will do all sorts of things. But this resignation on the drop of a hat, this my way or the highway, this whole absolutist totalitarian approach that we only know the way to fight corruption, and if you don't agree with that, you're an enemy of the Aam Aadmi. I mean, this is absolutely ridiculous. If you have to work with the courts, you have to file FIRs, you have to use the instruments of society to fight Mr. Mukesh Ambani. You can't fight Mukesh Ambani from Ram Leela grounds or Jantar Mantar. You have to be in government, you have to issue FIRs, you have to go through a process. Now, you can't say that I will completely jettison the process. You can say that I will try to hasten it, I will improve its speed, etc., etc. But you can't say the process doesn't exist.
That's the
then
problem.
We will get to Mr. Pranab Mukherjee's populist anarchy. I mean, I am so sad today that intelligent people like Prashant Bhushan and in your studio have allowed this to happen, that a great movement which showed great promise is actually now showing that they are no more than dangerous rabble-rousers who, as I said, who prefer to be at the Ramlila grounds, who prefer to agitate, then govern. This is a very sad day.
Arvind Kejriwal is going on. He is very clearly to send everybody to the guillotine. He can rule the country.
I want to.
That is the way in which he is coming in.
I want to ask you. You know what I find.
What all is being said?
No. I'm saying that I find it very interesting. No. What's it?
Naxalites.
Kamal Mitra Chenoy.
Mr. Chenoy has great regard.
No, Mr. Chenoy. What I find very interesting.
I mean, what's going on? And French Revolution,
Professor
probably like Robespierre. I mean, what's going on? And
you have to answer what's going on, not us here.
Professor,
all these things mean.
You have to answer what's going on.
Professor Chenoy.
Arnab's idea that all the right logic and all the data and all the common sense is with him, and we idealists don't know what we're doing, is really very immoral.
Sir, you know, idealism is not the preserve only of those people who want to fight a general election, right? And I'm just intrigued, Sanjay Jha would be intrigued that there was no FIR filed against Sheila Dikshit. Sanjay Jha? What about an FIR against Sheila Dikshit?
Yeah, no, all I want to tell you is
what about an FIR against Sheila Dikshit? What was the idealism not to do that?
They were in government.
Why did they not file an FIR against Sheila Dikshit? No, why did they not file an FIR against Sheila Dikshit?
I'll tell you why, Arnab, we can't file an FIR against everyone.
They will take
action. No, one second.
One by one.
Sheila Dikshit was your main political promise.
No, why did you?
Your main political promise and ignore that and say that will come later.
Capable of taking any action because probably they did not have any clinching evidence to take any action at all.
Okay, so one minute.
I think they have committed
can I just
harakiri here.
I am not supporting. I am not.
Just
one second, Sanjay. Just 1 second. I am not here. I'm not here to support Ambani or anyone. There are two things. 1 second. Sanjay, just a minute. Sanjay, just 1 second. Sanjay, just 1 second. I want to ask Aam Aadmi just one question.
It doesn't matter because
as far as they are concerned, they were getting ready to provide the budget of the state. They were supposed to come with a revenue model for all the freebies that they were going to give. The moment the time comes, you turn around and say, when you are doing one second.
Let me draw you back 1 minute. Just one. What happened to the FIR against Sheila Dikshit? What happened?
Ask Aam Aadmi that.
What happened to the FIR against Sheila Dikshit? What happened to the FIR against Sheila Dikshit?
That was the promise.
I think I've lost the audio link. That's a question. I'm very intrigued. You see, you file a FIR against Mukesh Ambani and you resign so you don't have to follow through with the investigation. You forget to file an FIR against Sheila Dikshit because
who voted against the bill today? You keep going back to the FIR.
No, 1 second.
The process itself is wrong.
The bill was not introduced.
Kejriwal is going to go to the people, ask for a mandate, reform the process, and then who opposed the rise in Reliance gas prices?
Why don't
who are the honoraries of India? Who opposed the rise in gas prices?
Why don't you?
And said that they're artificially high.
1 minute. You follow it through, no?
But
why do you follow it? It is your responsibility. 1 second. It is your responsibility if you are an idealist and not a political opportunist. It is your responsibility if you are serious and not Machiavellian only in your approach to politics. It is your responsibility to follow through the FIR. It is your responsibility to follow through the FIR against Mr. Ambani.
The story's moved on.
It is your responsibility to file the FIR against Sheila Dikshit.
Run a government.
Why have you panicked and run away?
Answer Mr. Bhatia, a respected administrator.
It makes much more sense to go back to the people, try and get a full mandate, and then follow through with all these investigations. You cannot depend on the Congress to support you through all your investigations, all the steps you take, all the decisions you make.
1 second, I'm coming back. 1 second, gentlemen, I'm coming back. I'm coming back. Tonight,
It has a very bad track record of giving
there
outside
was, by the way, no, one second. But by the way, Kamal Mitra Chenoy says, one second, Vinod Mehta, I'm coming to you. Kamal Mitra Chenoy says there was no evidence or proof against Sheila Dikshit. I think there's a Shunglu committee regarding the CWG, if I'm not mistaken.
No, I said the reverse. Now you're just I mentioned the Commonwealth Games. I said the reverse.
The
Congress said there's no evidence.
So there was the Lokayukta report also regarding the Rajiv Ratan Awas Yojana. You could have filed the FIR against Sheila Dikshit and then resign?
Arnab, then perhaps you should become Delhi Chief Minister and solve the problem.
No, why don't you? But this is, you promised to the people, you filed the FIR and then resign. Why didn't you?
But what makes you think we're not going to follow up?
Follow up after quitting?
After all, it's something called a
Come on, what are you saying now, Mr. Follow up after quitting, you let Congress party off and now you're going to say we are following up, I'm back. I'll follow up when I come on the other side of the bridge.
We let the Congress party off.
Of course, you let Sheila Dikshit off. I'm back in a couple of minutes. What are you doing? I'm back in a couple of minutes.